So good morning children. Today again we are in chemistry lab and today we have class 9th practicals. And in class 9th practical we have taken some separation techniques. The aim is to separate various components in a mixture and we are having various techniques that I am going to explain you in the lab with the help of Inder Singh ma'am and Banwani sir. So first technique we have is filtration. Okay. In filtration, basically we are using the technique to separate one insoluble substance and other is soluble substance. That means both are immiscible to each other and one substance cannot pass through the filter paper. So I'll show you by taking an example of sand and water. So how it takes place. So there is I have sand, I have water in it. So first of all I'll just make a mixture by mixing sand and water. So I just take small amount of sand and in water and mix. So now I have this mixture of sand and water and I'm going to separate these two, and this can be separated by using filtration. So for that I am using this filter paper. In previous experiment I have told you how to make this filter paper cone. Just by making two folds and taking out one fold, fix in the funnel properly, and then I am trying to filter to separate this sand and water. You can see that this goes in and it's only the sand that remains as residue, whereas the water comes down as filtrate. So you can see the filtrate is now clear and we have left sand on the filter paper as residue. So this way we have collected and we have separated the sand from water by using filtration technique. Okay, now we'll move to the second technique, that is sublimation. And sublimation basically is a process in which a sublime substance, that means a substance can be directly changes into the vapor state from its solid state without being converted into liquid. That means solid to vapor directly. So for that we are having various sublime substances like camphor, like naphthalene balls, like ammonium chloride. So I have taken a mixture of salt and ammonium chloride, and here is the apparatus how to use this. So this is funnel, this is inverted funnel I'll put on this china dish which has a mixture of salt, common salt, that is NaCl, and ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. So I have taken this mixture, then I take this funnel, inverted funnel I'll place, and its open leg is covered with the glass wool. So I'll keep it there, and this is placed on wire gauge, this is wire gauge, and this is tripod stand on which this has been placed, and this is the sprit lamp. So I'm going to switch it on. What will happen? Once I switch this, once I make it open, it starts burning, and on heating, the ammonium chloride starts converting into vapor form. The vapors will collect on the inner walls of this funnel, as we will not allow these vapors to move out into the atmosphere. So these vapors will get deposit on the inner walls. You can see the vapor starts coming on the inner walls and leaving common salt there, as it is not sublime substance. So vapors of this ammonium chloride can be later scratched and then collected, that is free from this common salt. So this way we can easily separate this ammonium chloride from common salt. After this we'll move to the next technique, that is separating funnel. So separating funnel is used to separate mixture of two immiscible liquids. It is used to separate two immiscible liquids. So I have taken an example of oil and water. So this is the apparatus for the separating funnel. This is the stand to hold the separating funnel. I have this separating funnel and I have already added a mixture. You can see this is a mixture. On mixing and leaving it for some time, allowed to stand, and I found that it changes into two
different
separate layers. Now what will happen? I'll just keep the beaker and make it on the stopper so that utensils are easily visible. If I see that this water has completely comes out in the beaker, I'll just close this tap and doesn't allow
oil to come out.
And we'll collect oil in another beaker. So this way separation takes place. And we'll collect oil in another beaker. So this is how we collect this oil in another beaker, and thus we are having a complete separation of these two immiscible liquids from a mixture of two immiscible liquids, that is oil and water. So this is how we can separate the two. After this we are having the next technique as magnetic separation method. Magnetic separation method, we are using one substance that get attracted towards magnet, that is I have taken iron scrap, and another is sulfur, which is non-magnetic. So here I am having a mixture of iron and sulfur. You can see this iron and sulfur. I'll just show this iron, black particles are iron and yellow is sulfur powder. So this can be easily separated when I take this magnet to this mixture. You can see this iron get attracted, leaving all the sulfur particles. So this is magnetic separation. Okay, here I can show you the difference between compound and mixture also. Suppose I have mixed this iron and sulfur, just mixing without heating, without any chemical reaction. So I can separate this mixture of iron and sulfur by using this magnet. And here I am having a compound of iron sulfide that has been prepared by mixing iron and sulfur. And if I take this magnet near to this, will not see any change, any attraction towards this magnet. So we can say, we can observe that the compound...
That's a compound, this is a mixture.
This is a compound of iron and sulfur, iron sulfide compound, and here is a mixture where individual components retain their properties. Whereas in compound, the component they lose their property and they'll be having some different property. So this is way how we can use the magnetic separation method to separate one magnetic substance from non-magnetic substance. Then we have next is chromatography. And for chromatography means mixture, separation of colored components basically. So I have taken mixture of ink. Though I have taken two samples, one sample is the mixture of flower pigment. This is rose flower pigment. And I have taken mixture of ink. And here this type of paper is available. We call it as Whatman filter paper. This Whatman filter paper has to be converted into strip by folding and then cutting, so that I can cut it into thin strip. And once I get this thin strip, I'll get the strip this way, okay, and then I'll take a drop with the help of this capillary and place it one point, so that the mixture of various components come and gets accumulate over there. Now what we do is, we have to dip this paper, the lower part only, into a solvent, basically acetone or a mixture of acetone and HCl we are taking, or any organic solvent, and you dip in this way, so that due to capillary action the solvent starts rising and taking all the components upward direction. On the basis of solubility and different rate of adsorption, these components starts rising up due to capillary action. And as I have applied this strip earlier, because it will take some time, so you can see the separation of the component that goes this way. So here we can apply this chromatography to separate mixture of
colored components
from either the pigments or from mixture of ink. Next we have is evaporation. So evaporation, basically a very good example is evaporation of seawater. We are having long shallow pits and we'll add some seawater into it, allow it to stand for some days so that the water gets evaporated, leaving salt. This is how the large-scale manufacture of salt takes place. In laboratory, I'll just show you that I have taken some small amount of water in the china dish and add some common salt to it. Adding common salt and mixing it properly, and then what I'll do is I just heat this mixture. On heating, by keeping it on this tripod stand and this wire gauze, if I heat this mixture, after some time we see that the water evaporates, leaving salt behind. So this is again a long time process, but this is basically a simple thing that we are just evaporating. Allow the solvent to evaporate. This water evaporates, leaving the salt behind, and just by increasing the temperature, we have speed up the rate of evaporation. So this is evaporation of salt in water. And last technique we have is crystallization. So crystallization basically is done for ionic compounds, ionic salts, and here I have taken an example of copper sulfate. So what we do is we take impure copper sulfate and mix in water to make this type of solution. You can see the solution. So what I have done is I just take copper sulfate and mix in solution and filter it. After filtration, all the impurities have been removed. They will remain as a residue, and this filtrate I have taken. Now this filtrate I'll take and then I heat this filtrate on the burner and allow it to heat for some time, so that evaporation takes place, the solution becomes thick and concentrated. Once it becomes thick and concentrated, we'll close this burner and remove this solution and place it on a cool surface or a beaker containing water filled up to the brim, so that the cooling starts, and after some time, around 3 to 4 hours, we found that the crystals have been found. So I have prepared some crystals. You can see this type of crystals are formed by crystallization process. So we can easily separate the impurities from such salts by the help of crystallization technique. So these are various techniques that are present, that are given in your syllabus also. So please go through it, and thank you so much.